Hi dear students, greetings for the day. Welcome to Classroom TV. So today we are going to discuss the chapter integers. So this topic which you have already learned in your class 6th. So let's begin the class. Now let us try to understand what are natural numbers. You know what are natural numbers actually? The natural numbers are nothing but the counting numbers. The counting numbers are called the natural numbers. So here, so what are natural numbers? Counting numbers. Like 1, 2, 3, so on, are called natural numbers. We know this, the counting numbers, what they are called? They are called natural numbers. Clear? So the set of these natural numbers, they are denoted by the letter n. The set of natural numbers are denoted by the letter n. So n is the letter which is used to represent the set of natural numbers. So n is equal to set of, this is a symbol for set, 1, 2, 3, so on, and then close it. So these are called the braces, which you're going to learn about them in your next classes. So here, so what are natural numbers? The counting numbers. 1, 2, 3, so on, like that it goes. So here, remember here, these natural numbers, see whatever the number we say suppose I am saying 5, we are able to say the next number by adding 1. Clear? So this is an infinite set. What it is here? An infinite set, the countless natural numbers. There are infinite natural numbers. It's clear? And now, let us see here, do we have any 0 in this? We do not have 0 in this. So, these natural numbers come with 0. Okay? The set of natural numbers along with 0 are called whole numbers. So, what are whole numbers here? The natural numbers along with 0. The natural numbers along with 0 are called whole numbers. Clear? What they are called? They are called whole numbers. So here, the set of whole numbers denoted by the letter W. W is the letter to represent the whole numbers. So in natural numbers, we do not have any 0 in them. They begin with 1. So these natural numbers, if they come along with 0, what we call them? They are whole numbers. So whole numbers, W, the set of 0 and then natural numbers. Clear? So this is about whole numbers. So now, do we have any negative of natural numbers in this? We do not have any negative numbers. The least whole number is 0, and even here also there are infinite whole numbers. So this set of whole numbers is also an infinite set. Is it clear? And now let us going to learn a very, very important one about integers. Let us see now what are these integers here. The whole numbers along with the negative of natural numbers the whole numbers along with the negative of natural numbers are called integers. What they are called? Integers. That's clear. So what are integers? Integers, whole numbers, and they also will have the negative of natural numbers. You know the natural numbers 1, 2, 3, so on. So what are negative of natural numbers? -1, -2, -3, -4. These are all the negative of natural numbers. Clear? So here the set of integers are denoted by the letter Z. Okay, so we represent either Z or we can also use I. We can also use I. So either Z or I can be used to represent the set of integers. So the integers set of, so that is infinite, negative infinite to, like you know, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, so on like that. It's clear? So from here to here, if you see from 0, 1, 2, 3, they are the set of whole numbers. And these set of whole numbers, they are along with the negative of natural numbers, then what we say, they are the set of integers. So these set of integers, they are represented by the letter Z, or also you can use I. Is it clear? So now, let us see here what actually these integers. See, remember here, these integers are useful to denote ideas that are opposite in direction or sense. Such as, how, like you know, up and down, east and west, increase and decrease, right and left, etc. like that. Say suppose, if we get a profit, suppose we are getting a profit, then it is represented by the number plus, by representing the sign plus. See, if a profit of rupees 13 is denoted by plus 13. So what is this plus here? It indicates that up. It indicates that there is a gain. What about here? Then a loss of rupees 13 is denoted by, we will have minus 13 here. So what is that minus indicates here? The minus tells us that there is a loss. Clear? So profit with positive, loss with negative. At the same time, see, plus 3 represents 3 kilometers above sea level. So obviously, minus 3 represents 3 kilometers below sea level. So above in the sense we are using positive, below in the sense we are using negative. Is it clear? Let us have one more. Suppose if you are depositing some amount in the bank. See, they'll write plus. Clear? So if a deposit of rupees 250 is represented by plus 250, Whereas if you suppose you withdraw some amount, then they will deduct it from the whatever the balance is, from that it deducted, so they will write minus. So minus 250 is represented like a withdrawal. Clear? Even if you can take the temperatures, so the temperature above 0 degrees is positive and that below 0 degrees is negative. See in how many ways we are using these integers. So that is what here they are helpful to denote ideas opposite in direction or in sense, either in up and down, the east or west. Is it clear? So if going like this is positive and going down is negative. The deposit in the bank. If you deposit some amount in the bank, it is represented with positive. At the same time, if you withdraw some amount in the bank, then we'll deduct that amount, whatever is withdrawn, from the total. So these are all the ways like where we use these integers in general. Is it clear? So now, let us try to understand how we can represent integers on the number line. You know actually what is a number line, which you have learned in your previous class. Say suppose this is a number line. Okay. So now how we represent this? These integers on this number line here, just place 0 here. Okay. So at equal distances, you have to mark the numbers at equal distances. See, I am standing here on my right side. These are the positive numbers. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. It continues. It goes like this. Clear? And on the left side, remember here on the right side, we have to mark the positive numbers. And on the left side of 0, at same equal distances, you have to mark the negative numbers. Clear? It continues. So this is how actually the integers are represented on the number line. So now it is an integer number line because integers are on the line. Is it clear? Remember, the 0 should be in the middle and the right side of 0. Like, you know, if we stand here, the right side of 0, these are the positive numbers. And on the left side of 0, what they are? They are the negative numbers. Remember here, 0 is neither positive nor negative. Clear? On the right side of 0, the positive numbers are placed. So if we need more numbers, it can be extended. Both arrows indicates that can be extended. And on the left side of the zeros, we have to use the negative numbers. Is it clear? Now, let us see here. There are some important points about the integers you should understand. So what are those important points here? Just now we discussed 0 is neither a positive nor a negative integer. Clear? 0 is neither positive nor negative integer. But remember here, but it is less than every positive integer because 0 is on the left side of the positive numbers. So it is always less than the positive integer and greater than every negative integer. 0 is greater than every negative integer and 0 is smaller than every positive integer. That is the first point you should understand about integers. And then the distance between any two consecutive integers is always the same and it is equal to 1 unit. Clear? Between the consecutive numbers, the distance is always 1 unit. Say suppose you are taking the positive numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. From 1 to 2, what is the distance? It is 1 unit. 2 to 3 is again 1 unit, 3 to 4 is again 1 unit, 4 to 5 is again 1 unit. Is it clear? So the distance between any two consecutive integers is always the same. So in general, it is 1 unit. Is it clear? And now, for every integer on the right of 0, there exists the same integer on the left of 0 with a negative sign and at the same distance. Like we just learned about a number line. See here, this is 0. So right of 0 we have 1. Even the same number will exist, but it comes in the negative. See here we have 2. So here we will have minus 2. Is it clear? So on the number line, for every integer on the right of 0, whatever the number exists, the same number will be existed on the left side also, but with a negative sign. Is it clear? And now, any given integer is greater than all the integers on its left and less than all the integers on its right. It's clear. See, if you are seeing the same here, suppose I am taking about this. For example, I am taking about minus 1. So this is always smaller value compared to any integer on the right. Clear? I am taking, suppose minus 1 is the given integer. This point you should understand carefully. See here, minus 1 is the negative integer. This is the given integer. This is always smaller than whatever the integers they are present on the right side. It is always smaller than. And it is always bigger than whatever the integers they are present on the left side. That means minus 1 is bigger than minus 2 because minus 2 it lies on the left compared to minus 1. For minus 1, minus 2 is on the left side. Clear? So this is a very, very important point. For any given integer, it is always greater than the integers that are present on the left side, and it is always smaller than the integers that is present on the right. Is it clear? Now, let us see here, there are some integers given here. So asking us to represent these integers on a number line. Let us see now how we can represent this on a number line here. So we are taking one integer number line. This is an integer number line. So write 0 here. On the right of 0, you have to place the positive numbers. So the maximum positive value is 6 here. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, let's take 9. When it comes to the left side, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. You can extend it like minus 9 like this. So now, represent minus 4. Okay, so where is minus 4 here? Here this is minus 4. Clear, this is minus 4. Right here I am keeping one, this one. So that is minus 4 representing on the number line. And then what about plus 4? They are asking about plus 4. Plus 4 is here. And then minus 3. Where is minus 3? Here it is minus 3, just mark it. Clear. And then positive 6. Here it is a 6. And then negative 8. So whatever the value is given, just mark it on that particular value. That is how actually to represent the integers on the number line. And remember here, between two consecutive integers, the distance is same here, and that distance is 1 unit. Sometimes, like take the distance between two as 5 units, 10 units, 20 units, like that. Let us have one question like that. If each division represents 10 units, mark a point minus 30 on the number line. So here, let us draw one number line first. So this is a number line we are drawing here. 0. Each division represents 10 units. That is what given here. So that means this is the first division, positive 10, 20, 30, 40, it continues. Each division is given of how many units? 10 units. Let us move to the left side of the 0. So you will have the same numbers but with a negative sign. Clear. So each division 10, 10, 10 units. Now what he is asking us? Now he is asking us to represent minus 30. What is asking now? He is asking us to represent minus 30. So this is minus 30. Clear? That is how to represent with a given division, whatever the units it is given, whether it is 10 units or 5 units, depending upon the question. If suppose instead of 10 units, if suppose it is given for 5 units, then the values will come 5, 10, 15, 20 on the right side of 0. And on the left side of 0, the same numbers will be followed but with a negative sign. That is minus 5, minus 10, minus 15, minus 20, like that it goes. Is it clear? So this is how we represent the integers on the number line with the units. Each division represents like how many units. If it is not mentioned, then generally we'll take the division unit as 1 unit. Clear? And now, let us try to understand what is an absolute value of an integer. This is very, very important. Let us see what is an absolute value here. Irrespective of the sign, we will be taking only the numerical value. What is this? See here, the absolute value of an integer is its numerical value regardless of its sign. So this is the symbol actually we represent the modulus. This is another way you can also call it as modulus. So that means, say suppose we are taking like modulus of 5. This is 5 only. Modulus of 5 is 5 only. Whereas modulus of minus 5 is also 5 only. Understood? So what is this modulus here? We have to consider only the numerical value. Don't consider the sign. Whatever it is, whether it is positive or negative, the answer is always positive. Is it clear? The answer is always positive. That means, so here what you should understand, that modulus of A is A. Even modulus of minus A is also A. It's clear. Modulus of positive A is A. and modulus of negative a is also a. Then you might be getting a doubt. What if it is 0? So remember here, a very important point you should remember, modulus of 0 is 0. What is here? Modulus of 0 is always 0. It's clear? So, the absolute value of an integer is always greater than or equal to the number itself. Okay, it is also called the modulus. What do you call it as? In other way, you can also call it as modulus. Understood now what is the meaning of absolute value? Absolute value in the sense you have to consider only the numerical value irrespective of the sign. Whatever may be the sign, whether it is positive or negative, whatever it is, the answer is always positive. You have to consider only positive value. Clear? And remember here, modulus of 0 is always 0. So, modulus of a is a and the modulus of minus a is also a. So, absolute value in other way we can call it as modulus. So, its value is always the integer itself or more than that. It's clear? So, now let us see how we can compare and ordering of integers. See, when we discussed earlier some useful points about integers, we discussed one important point. What is that? For a integer, for a given integer, whatever the integers they are on the right side, whatever the integers they are on the right side, and here it is on the left side. This integer is always smaller than the integers on the right, and it is always greater than the integers on the left. That is what we have learned. So here an integer is greater than all the integers on its left and smaller than all the integers on its right. Clear? It is smaller than the integers on the right and it is greater than the integers on the left. So by using the same concept, we have to compare the given integers. Say for example, there is given here -4, -5. So let us compare this, which one is bigger and which one is smaller. So if we represent them on the number line, 0 is here, -1, -2, -3, so -1, -2, -3, -4, and here the -5 will come. So we are taking -4 as the given integer, where it is placed to the -5. The -4 is on the right side of the -5 is on the left of -4. We are considering -4 as the given integer, so -5 is on the left. So we just learned for a given integer, it is always more than, it is always greater than the integers that are placed on the left. So -5 is on the left side. So now which one is bigger here? Which one is bigger here? -4 is greater than -5. Say suppose some random integers are given. For example, Let us take minus 2, 0, minus 10, 15, 1, minus 7. This is what given here. So they are asking like arrange in ascending order, for example. Arrange these integers in ascending order. Okay. So you know what is ascending order? Smaller number to bigger number. So among all these integers, which one is smaller here? How we can say? Just represent these on the number line. Of course, without number line also you can say directly, but to have a practice, just practice like this. So 0. So 1 will be on the right of 0, positive numbers. And then which one is another positive number here? 15. So that will be somewhere here. And what about on the left side? It is minus 2. And then minus 7 somewhere here. And minus 10 somewhere here. Of course, middle there are some numbers. Minus 1 will be here. Minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6. All will be there. So now, which one is the smaller one here? This is the smaller one. Clear? How we are saying? Because it is on the left side. Minus 10 is smaller than minus 7. Minus 7 is smaller than minus 2. Minus 2 is smaller than 0. 0 is smaller than 1. 1 is smaller than 15. Clear? So now what is the answer here? In ascending order means it is minus 10 will come first here. Less than. Minus 7 lesser than. Minus 2 lesser than 0, lesser than 1, lesser than 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So no integer missed. So remember here, for a given integer or any integer, it is always greater than. It is always greater than all the integers on its left, and it is smaller than all the integers on its right. This is how you can compare the integers. Is it clear? And now, let us see how we can add and subtract the integers. This addition and subtraction which you have already learned. So there are some rules. We should understand mainly 3 rules here. So what are those 3 rules here? While adding 2 or more integers of the same sign, because see, when it comes to integers, we have positive numbers, negative numbers and 0. So when we are adding 2 or more integers of the same sign, that means all of them either positive or whatever you want to add, they are of the same sign, they are negative. So they are either both or positive or both are negative. Then what we have to do, you just add their absolute values and place the common sign before the sum. That means, say suppose we will have a few examples to understand this betterly. I want to add plus 5. This is added to plus 7. So what we have to do here, just take the absolute value of plus 5. Keep this positive sign here. You know what is the absolute value of plus 5? That is modulus. What is modulus of 5? It is 5. So this is 5 here plus this is 7 here. So 5 plus 7, we know 12, and keep the same sign, whatever the sign here, the both are positive, so it is plus 12. So in general, we no need to mention plus 12. 12 itself, it indicates that it is positive. 12 itself, it tells us that it is positive. So this is plus 12. We'll have one more. If both are negative, then say suppose we are taking like you want to add minus 3 plus minus 6, for example. This is the given question. So then what we have to do now? Take the absolute values for both. Take the absolute values for both. So now we know what is the absolute value of minus 3. What is modulus of minus 3? It is 3 here. Plus, here it is 6. So 3 plus 6, it is 9. 3 plus 6, it is 9. That is fine. But whatever the sign given here, what is the sign given here? Minus. So for this, what you have to do, minus 3 plus minus 6, we got it like 9, but keep the minus. Clear? So write the absolute values, because why we are placing minus here? Because both of them are negative. As both of them are negative here, so that we are placing negative. Is it clear? So if both the given integers, if both of them either they are positive or negative, whatever it is, you just add the numbers. First, regardless of sign, you add the numbers, and whatever the sign is there, that sign you keep to the result. Is it clear? Say suppose we'll have one more directly without taking any absolute values. It's given minus 6 plus minus 2 plus minus 4 plus minus 1. Suppose this is given. So it's given 4 integers. All of them are negative. Here 4 integers are given and all of them are negative. Then what we have to do here, just add all the numbers. 6 plus 2, 8. 8 plus 4, 12. 12 plus 1, 13. Just add all the numbers. Remember this point. You just add, regardless of sign, you add the numbers first. And then now all of them, they have common negative sign here. So for the result, you keep minus. Is it clear? If it is positive, no issue. Clear? Suppose we have positive numbers. All of them are positive. It is given 3 plus 4 plus 6, for example. Then these are all the positives. So just add directly. 3 plus 4, 7. 7 plus 6, 13. No need to keep any plus. 13 itself, it indicates that it is plus 13. So when it is negative, then what you have to do? You just add the numbers first, and whatever it is common, that you place it. That sign you have to place it. So this is rule 1. Let us see now what is rule 2 here. So we will have a doubt. What if they are of opposite signs? The signs are not same, then what we have to do? So while adding 2 or more integers with different signs. Okay, we are adding 2 or more integers with different signs. Then what you have to do here? Subtract their absolute values and place the sign of the integer with greater absolute value. Is it clear? So then what you have to do here? Say suppose. So what is minus 6 plus, it's given 8, for example. Minus 6 plus 8. Then what you have to do here? You take the absolute values of minus 6 and take the absolute value of 8. You know what is the absolute value of minus 6 here? 6. And here it is 8. Now, among these two, which one is bigger here? 8 is bigger. 8 is bigger. So now you subtract this. What is 8 minus 6? It is 2. 8 minus 6 it is 2. So we have considered the absolute values. 8 minus 6 it is 2. And the greater number, this is absolute value of, whose absolute value is great here? 8 here. So what is the sign here? Positive. So the answer is plus 2. What is here? The answer is plus 2. We'll have one more example to understand better. Say suppose, let us take minus 10 plus 4. See, so simple. Just remember, forget the sign for a moment. Whether it is minus or plus, you just ignore for a moment. Okay. Subtract the least from the highest. Subtract the least from the highest. What is the least number here? 4. Highest is 10. So 10 minus 4, we will be getting 6. 10 minus 4 is 6. And now come back to the question here. Between 10 and 4, the 10 is the bigger one. What symbol the 10 has? What sign the 10 has? The 10 is negative, so keep negative. Clear? What is the first step? Ignore the sign. Ignore the sign. Subtract the least from highest. The least is 4. Subtract it from highest. 10 minus 4 is 6. What the sign the highest has? Negative. So keep the answer is minus 6. Let us see one more. So this part you should understand very, very clearly. Say suppose it is given minus 2 plus 7 minus 10, for example. The problem is like this. First take 2. Minus 2 plus 7. I am taking first these two. Ignore the sign. Forget the sign. 2 is the least, 7 is the highest. Subtract the least from the highest. 7 minus 2 is how much here? 5. What the highest has is a positive or negative? It's positive. So the answer is plus 5. Now we are taking this into the picture. Now again different signs. Forget about the signs for a moment. Just forget them. The least is 5 here. The highest is 10. Subtract them now. The least is 5 and highest is 10. So subtract them now. 10 minus 5 is 5 here. I'm subtracting the least from the highest. And what sign the highest has? The highest has negative, so it is minus 5. It's clear? So if they are opposite signs, ignore the signs first, subtract the least from the highest, and then subtract the least from the highest, and whatever the sign the highest has, keep the same sign to the answer. That is rule 2. Now let us see what is this rule 3 here. So far we have discussed about the addition. Now let us see subtraction here. While subtracting 2 or more integers, find the additive inverse of the subtrahend and add it to the minuend. It's clear. Say suppose, for example, we are taking minus 2 minus, for example, minus 4. What is minus 2? Minus of minus 4. That is the question. Because we haven't done multiplication of integers yet. If we know the multiplications, that other calculation. Clear? So now what we will do, keep this one as it is. Minus 2. Keep minus 2 as it is. Then what will be here? You have to write the additive inverse. What do you mean by additive inverse? Additive inverse in the sense, change the sign. Say suppose the additive inverse of A is minus A. Just change the sign. And for minus A and for minus A, the additive inverse is plus A. Just change of signature, change of sign, I mean to say, not signature, change of sign. So here, this is minus 2, keep it as it is. Now what about the additive inverse of minus 4? It is plus 4. The additive inverse of minus 4 is plus 4, that we know. Is it clear? Now, you know these two are of opposite signs. Come to rule 2. What is rule 2? There is one minus and one positive. Both are different signs. So subtract the least from the highest. 2 is the least. I am subtracting from the highest. It's 2. And the highest, the positive sign. So it is plus 2. What if, say suppose, we'll have here minus 3, minus just 5 is here. So then what it is now? Keep minus 3 here. Write the additive inverse of 5 is minus 5. Just write the additive inverse. Now you see, these two are same sign. This is negative and even here it is negative. What is rule 1? If both of them are of same sign, just add the numbers. What is 5 plus 3? 8. Keep the common sign. Okay? So this is about how we can add and how we can subtract the integers. Some rules. So children, just practice all this. So our Classroom TV has a website, that is www.classroomtv.in. So in that website, all your textbook problems are detailedly solved and it is loaded in the website. Just log into that website and you also find practice papers from each chapter. So start practicing those papers and improve your knowledge. God bless you all. We'll see you in my next class. Stay tuned and do not forget to watch classroomtv.in.